This podcast is brought to you in part by ChoiceRealtyConnect.com. Whether you're buying or selling a home, condo, or any type of property, trust Amanda to help match you with up to 3 top agents in your area. ChoiceRealtyConnect.com. Hey, all you rock stars from Washington, D.C. This is the Rock on the Money podcast, episode 144, Amanda. Time to talk about saving, investing, and protecting all those hard-earned monies. We're here to coach you along your path to retirement and financial independence. I'm Craig, your certified master financial coach. Along with Amanda, she is a corporate in-house lawyer and real estate referral agent. And we're grateful you've joined us. Check us out on Facebook at Rock on the Money or the website at rockonthemoney.com. Hello.
Hey, hi, how's it going?
I'm loving the fall weather.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
You know what I loved is when we were traveling, it felt like fall weather in other places. Like when we were in the Smoky Mountains, the weather was just amazing. We did so much hiking, but it wasn't like if we were, well, first of all, there's not really places to hike in Florida, but
No.
if we were, it would have been stifling and just completely miserable.
Right.
The mountains are challenging, but not miserable. I feel like I came back with really great glutes from all the up and downhill. Glutes and calves, right? But
yeah.
The weather is great. You're in trees, so you're shaded. You're not like dying from sunstroke like you would be in Florida. So that part was really, really cool. And then, we spent a few days when we left the Smoky Mountains, we went and stayed on a lake in South Carolina. And that was just spectacular sunsets and everything, and really reminded us that, yes, we need to have a goal of getting a lake house at some point. Not because I want to go in the water, because I don't like being in lake water, but just being near water and hearing the water, and then, the sunset's just really, really cool.
That's my goal. I need to find a lake property.
Oh, yeah. House. So you get the lake property and then I'll just go use it.
Oh, my God. See, I've been waiting for the market to calm down because I may actually actively start looking. I don't even know where to go. There's so many lakes. It's not
Well, that's
easy.
The good news is that, we're not in short supply of lakes.
No, there's tons of lakes, and you don't have the global warming issue with a lake.
Right.
That's the other thing I like. So the levels stay constant. It's not the beach. I'm not doing the beach. So I'm going to be going through you. Choice Realty Connect.
It's so serene and peaceful and just really recharging to be on a lake.
Yeah, I think that'll be my happy place. I would just need a simple pontoon boat that if I just want to go putt around, chill out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did kayaking on the lake. It was really nice.
I did that too. Exercise.
Yeah, and I didn't have to touch any of the lake water because I was in this kayak, so.
There you go.
Because I have this thing about lake water. I don't like it.
Yeah, see, lakes can also be polluted. So there's a whole thing about lakes, but yeah.
Yeah, remember that commercial with the tear coming down his face? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Washington Redskin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which we can't say anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. Okay, so this question I inserted in here. This is actually from my gaming stream. I'm a Facebook gaming partner. And now people ask me money questions in the game stream that I do live 7 days a week, 5 o'clock in the morning, which is insane.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah. And now I'm on YouTube now, Amanda.
Oh.
I'm a YouTube partner now too. Because Facebook's just not enough for me. I have to do the whole thing now. So a person came in there asking, they're already divorced once. I'm just going to, instead of reading the question I have, I'm just going to explain it. The guy is divorced. And he now has a girlfriend, and she's going to move in.
Okay.
That's fine. Okay, so they're going to move in.
Chick-a-bow.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh. So he is serious about this relationship. So I want to insert that. He is serious.
Well, I would hope so if they're
moving in.
Together.
But here's what happened. He asked her credit score before she moved in, and she freaked out. And he already knows she has a 6-figure student loan. Mm-hmm. So the question is, was it right or wrong to ask another what their credit score if your relationship is serious? Now, didn't we just do a podcast episode about this when Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, he posted something on CNBC saying by the third date. Remember that episode?
Oh, yeah. He said third date.
He said the third date that the subject of money should come up. So it's kind of related to that.
Yeah. So,
What's your opinion?
subject of money should definitely come up before you're moving in together. I mean, so without knowing the details here, I imagine that there's been a conversation about who's responsible for bills, how they're going to allocate, the finances of the shared household. Since he's been through divorce once, he's probably familiar with the fact that, you have to protect your individual interests with money. Now, I will say, until you're married, I mean, there's no court for people who are playing house. So if things go south, you're going to have to figure it out and cut your losses on your own. But I guess the question I have is, how is the credit score relevant? There could be really good explanations for a low credit score. Without knowing her history, it's hard to say whether or not it's relevant. Like after my divorce, my credit score was in the toilet.
Right.
It didn't mean that I wasn't personally responsible with money. It's just that once you go through divorce, things can really get trashed by your spouse who's, either vindictive or just the circumstances, right?
Right.
Student loans, if you're falling behind on them, can impact. Did someone just recently lose a job and fall behind? There's so many reasons why someone's credit score can dive, even short term. So I think it's just one small part of an overall financial picture.
In a six-figure student loan, the debt to income ratio is completely out of whack anyway. Right. Unless she's making six figures deep. Her ratio is going to drag her down already.
Right.
So she may already be in 600s anyway or lower. Just from that.
Yeah, because the algorithm is based on how much debt do you have versus how much income are you bringing in.
It's one of the factors. So that's
even if you're making perfect payments. Yeah.
Right. Because they know you can't default on it.
So I'm interested, though. Did you get any background on whether she answered the question?
I never got that, actually.
Or did she just freak out and refuse to answer? Because that might be a red flag.
The problem when you do a live stream on any platform, where it's YouTube or Facebook, is the chat room is flying. So as everybody else is commenting about this, I'm trying to find his comments. Because
it's too fast. Yeah, you need a moderator.
Yeah, we have 100,000 reach, 100 to 1 million reach on every show. So trying to find comments but all I know is she freaked out, and he did ask her this question. But I did say, look, she may just be embarrassed by it, but there's probably good explanation for it.
Yeah, I think it also probably matters how we asked.
That always comes in, yeah. Now, the other part that came in with this, I did remind everybody that when you marry, whatever her debt is now yours.
Right. It's much more relevant because, he would be essentially taking on that credit score.
So in light of that situation or whatever's going on, what is your opinion about prenups in 2021?
Oh, 2021 or any year, I think prenups are an essential idea.
Well, I'm just comparing it to like 70s, 80s. I think nowadays, and we asked this in the chat room, the live chat, and everybody was in agreement on prenups now. And there are a lot of divorced people in this room. So a lot of people agree that prenups nowadays are a normal thing. You should not be scared of a prenup anymore as a protection vehicle. So we've talked about this in previous episodes, but he wanted to hear your opinion. Everybody wanted to hear Amanda's. They don't care about me, Amanda. They want to hear you.
Are you serious? What? They actually say my name?
No, they didn't say Amanda. Well, we talk about Amanda a lot. We don't have the podcast, but they all wanted to hear your opinion. So there you go.
Yeah. So, I'm going to, my normal.
You're like famous now and you don't even play video games. You don't even like video games.
Yeah. Unless it's like, well, even Tetris bores me now, but okay. I didn't realize I was so famous.
Oh, everybody
but I
knows
gave you
Amanda.
My general answer of it depends without saying it depends, right?
Oh, yeah. I keep telling them, I said, I've learned where to say never or always. All right. Question number 2. If any of you had $500,000, what would you do with it aside from paying debt? Be specific. I had to ask this.
Well, okay, so maybe they're saying maybe if you fell upon 500,000,
I would say,
if
like,
you have it,
let's say you
then
got
you should have
you
already
inherited.
paid debt.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's say
all right.
you're going to inherit 500,000, or you won the lottery for some reason.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now you have $500,000. What would you do with it? And be specific.
Be specific.
Lake house.
Yeah, I immediately went to real estate in my head. Yeah,
Yeah, I
for
figured
sure.
you did.
But part of me is thinking, would it be for myself or would it be an investment property? And it would probably be maybe a combination of both.
500,000 will not. I've looked at a lot of lakes. That one that will only make a dent in a lake house.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about $1 million for a lake
Yeah.
house. Yeah. Trust me, I've looked. It
Yeah.
scares me.
Have you seen that show? What is it with that really flamboyant host? What is it? Millionaire, where he helps people look for
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
lottery dream house or something like that.
Yeah. He's on CNBC a lot too. Yeah.
He gets he has an additional tattoo every single time he goes on.
Oh my God.
Like if you watch the early episodes, he doesn't really have any tattoos, and then as the series and seasons progress, it's like they just keep coming down his arms and up his neck, which good for him. I have nothing. I'm not judging. I just think it's like you can tell how old the episode is based on how much.
That's funny.
He still has, but yeah, and I just watch it simply because of his personality. He's so funny, and his outfits. Oh my gosh, I crack up when I see his outfits. But what you learn is that these people who win these lotteries and they want to go buy a quote unquote dream house, most of the time their budgets are like $150,000 to $300,000. So really quite a modest budget. And they're looking at these really still small and modest homes. But the goal is that they won't have a mortgage.
There you go. I would say I would take that immediately right now. If it were today, I'd call you.
Yeah.
If you'd let me call you, I'd probably text you first. I'd say, hey, Choice Realty Connect, I need a realtor. And I want to look at these lakes in North Carolina or South Carolina right now.
Yeah. And I would say, hey, could you go to my website and fill out the form there? Because
but I'm your friend. Why do I have to do the whole website? Okay.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, I can ask you the same questions and then I can put it in the website.
I know. But I would say, okay, find me that realtor. I need a top realtor because I don't want to screw this up.
Yeah.
I don't want just anybody. I want to get the right realtor. So I would say, look, I want a lake house. I need something. These are the states I'm looking at. Give me the list and I'll come down. We'll go look at them. But I would definitely.
Well, if you're looking at multiple states, you probably need multiple realtors because remember they're geography specific. But I'm thinking,
Asheville, Western North Carolina, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It needs to have good internet though. I know that's not easy to do, by the way, at a lake.
It's not. It's not easy to do when you're camping either. But because I'm going to continue to be a content creator. So that's going to be the whole thing. But anyway, the bottom line is I would probably do myself, not a rental, but that would be a primary residence at a lake house. And that would make a dent. It would cover probably half of it. Yeah. The other thing I would do is travel with it.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. So here's a question. Is $500,000 used to seem like a whole lot of money, and I'd be like, yeah, I'd quit my job and go to. But it doesn't really go as far as it used to.
So think of what you just said. What we say is, for every $1 million you have for retirement, that nets you, on average, $40,000 a year in income.
Yeah.
For 20 to 30 years, $500,000 in investing. If you retired with that, would get you $20,000 a year. That's nothing. That's below poverty level. So You're right. 500,000 nowadays. What I mean in the 80s? Oh yeah, you're huge. You're banging. Now, shoot, like okay, that's a house
or a down payment on a house. Yeah.
Yeah, in a large market, city, one of the top 10 markets, big city markets like
Yeah, if
DC
you're going to the
Atlanta.
backwoods, and somewhere that's hard to get to, it might go a lot further.
Oh yeah, you can get $100,000-$200,000, but if you want to live where jobs are, that's going to get you a house. But
well, the good news is a lot of jobs are remote nowadays, so You have a lot
people
more
are moving out of
flexibility.
cities. Yeah, it's getting crazy out there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let's take a quick break and we'll be back with two more great questions. You're listening to Rock on Money.
Hey there, rock stars. Amanda here with ChoiceRealtyConnect.com. Are you about to sell your home or excited to buy your first or next home? I'll be honored to help you find an expert to work with you in your local area. At ChoiceRealtyConnect.com, I'll help match you with up to 3 qualified licensed agents that specialize in your specific market. Choice Realty Connect serves every zip code in all 50 states with a network of 15,000 top-rated agents that are ranked within the top 5% for sales. Whether you're selling or looking for a condo, new construction, retreat, vacation property, or you're a first-time home buyer, let me connect you with the perfect top agent today. ChoiceRealtyConnect.com. The choice is yours.
Amanda Braun is a Florida licensed real estate with a brokerage Realty Connect.
Rockland, USA.
Welcome back to Rock on the Money with Amanda and Craig. Check us out on our website at rockonthemoney.com for all of our previous episodes. There's a link to Spotify, all the places our podcast exists. Or you can just ask your phone.
Or your home electronic assistant.
Right? Like I got Google's. I think you have Alexa's or you don't have
I
any?
do.
You have Alexa's?
Mm-hmm.
And you've asked it and it comes up, right?
It does. Yeah. I just say, play the latest episode of Rock on the Money.
That's all you got to ask. Do your alert thing on your home device and it'll just come right up. Say, play the latest episode of Rock on the Money. Boom, there it is. Question number 3. Look, this is up your alley. You love this question because you give the same answer every time, but people want to know. Hey, looking to park my emergency fund into a high yield savings. What is the best? Wanting easy accessibility.
So high yield savings are always, well, I shouldn't say always. See, Craig, I said always.
You don't even let me say that.
I know, I don't let you say that, but almost always online entities. I used to say always, and then my sister let me know that her local credit union had something that beat that rate. So
yeah, credit unions are pretty good now. Yeah,
some credit unions can beat them, but I use Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and they have a really great online rate. It's their rates. Online entities are going to be higher than brick and mortar banks for sure. Credit unions, it's probably going to be, it may be competitive, but not always. And credit unions are going to have some other rules in place that you have to follow in order to get that great rate.
Yeah.
You might have to have a certain number of transactions with them a month or a certain balance, whereas the online with like Marcus by Goldman Sachs, and I just say that one because that's the one I use, but Ally's another great one, things like that. Yeah, they have great rates. And it's not intended to make you a lot of money. It's intended to be there for emergencies. So yes,
right.
Accessibility is important. A lot of people shy away from these online banks because they're concerned about accessibility. But I'll tell you, when I need money out of my Marcus account, it takes 24 hours, and that's it. So
yeah.
I do keep a small, like $500 emergency fund in my existing bank so that I can access it immediately if something were to come up. I've never had to touch it, though.
One thing people tell me, I always ask them, I said, so why don't you want to use an online bank? And so they think in their mind it's not safe because it's online.
But all banks are online now.
Right. Yeah. If you actually do a search, there are websites that track all the banks. And who has secure websites for getting your money or doing transactions. You'll find that the brick and mortar ones are actually the unsafe ones.
Yeah. Because they don't invest as heavily in their online security, where someone's whose entire business model is based on online, that's what they do. That's what they invest in.
A lot of these banks, like one that I used to hear, brick and mortar, which has online, it only has that 2-factor where it sends you a text, But see, that can be spoofed. There's no code generators. There's none of that stuff. So the online banks are actually, like you said, if they mess that up, nobody's going to ever use them and they're done. So they actually work harder on their online security than your brick and mortar. Brick and mortar, they just don't put the money into it. Like you said, they have to pay the bills of all these buildings, the land. They have a lot of overhead. And so they don't have those reserves to go out and invest in their online platforms. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's scary, actually. And you'll probably run to Ally, Marcus, and all these other online. It's like, oh my God. And it's not that big of a deal. It really is not. People are just used to habits of going to a drive-in. They want to do a drive-through at the bank and put that stupid tube down that vacuum thing. It's just habits.
That's crazy to me. I haven't gone to, because we also use USAA for our other banking needs, and USAA has very few actual branches, so they're almost all online anyway. I haven't gone to a bank drive-through or a bank building in like 8 or 9 years.
Okay, this is going to sound really stupid. It's been a year. I had to actually go to a physical bank recently, right? Mm-hmm. And I had to actually fill out a paper check. I had to fill out those stupid slips.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there looking at the thing. I'm like, what's my account number? I mean, all that stuff. I'm like, and I have to write it down with a pen. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, because it's almost every bank nowadays has an app where you can deposit checks on, right through the app, and you don't have to go through all that, and it's immediately available. So, I don't know why you need these banks anymore.
Yeah. Anyway.
And people are like, oh, I want to go withdraw cash. I mean, that's what an ATM will do too. They're everywhere.
Yeah, and a lot of them find one that has no fees. And actually, Marcus and Ally, don't they have no fees at these ATMs?
I don't know. I never use my Marcus account for an ATM. But
there you go.
Like a lot of online banks that you use for like checking or savings, they will reimburse you the fees for the ATMs up to a certain amount per month.
They're taking away the friction of using their service.
Yeah.
Frictionless service. Question number 4. I just changed my 401k contribution from 4% to 18%. And I'm pretty nervous since I'm 28 and I make about $45,000 a year. And I'm also saving for a house. Any advice?
So congratulations. That's a pretty big leap.
That's maybe step 4 right there.
It is. I think you could probably get away with 15%. That's just me. If you wanted to also save for a house, but if you're doing 18% of 45?
Ooh.
I'm thinking this because there's probably a reason for this.
Yeah, 18 is a weird number.
Yeah, let me see here. So 45,000 times 0.18.
I wonder if they have a company match and they're trying to round it off that way.
Well, so I was thinking it had to do with Roth IRA limits, but it's not, because it's $8,100.
Oh, that's way below. Okay.
And it's a 401k, not an IRA. But that's a fair amount for sure.
That's a lot of money.
If you're saving for a house, the baby steps calls for 15%. So you're exceeding that a little bit. And maybe you want to take that extra 3% and put that into your savings account for your house. Mm-hmm. But, it's always nerve wracking to see a big chunk of your pay go somewhere other than, fun spending. But it sounds like you're doing the right thing.
Let me tell you something. When I did this years ago, when I worked for the fire department, and I upped my contributions dramatically, without even knowing what baby steps were. This is a long time ago. I was actually doing the right thing. I just didn't realize I was doing it. I just did it. When your take-home pay is less, you just seem to adjust to it.
You do.
I don't have to do it myself. Like self-employed people, like I have to do my own IRA now because I don't have a 401k. Even though I have them out there, I can't contribute to them anymore. It's a little bit more different when I sit here in front of the computer and I put the money in there than if I never saw it. It's so easy and you will adjust to it. So when you first do it, it's like, oh, my paycheck's a little bit less. But within a couple months, you're like, then you don't even miss it.
Yeah.
It is the easiest way to save for retirement. It really is.
I think that's a great point, that your lifestyle will adjust, whether that's whether your pay is going up or down. So, I see a lot of times, what do they call it? Lifestyle creep when you get a raise.
Yeah. That's when, a lot of firefighters do that. And here's the other thing. Whenever I got a raise, if I didn't really need it because of inflation or whatever, I actually kept increasing whenever I got promoted or got a raise, cost of living raise, I would increase that until the point where like, okay, I'm now maxed out in my contributions. Now that's how I would build up to the max part. That's how I did it. But this is without knowing any financial literacy. It just seemed to work.
It does. So,
But you won't miss the money. 4 to 18, that's a big jump.
Yeah. And you're at a great age for it. But I would say if you have another goal of saving for a house, I think it's okay to give yourself permission to lower your investments in order to meet that other goal.
They're 28 years old. You know what that means? They're adulting now. Mm-hmm. Yep. You pretty much know what you're doing at that point. So it looks like
I still have no idea what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Does it look like I know I'm retired and look what I'm doing? I don't even know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm going out of my mind here, but I'm having a great time. I really am. So anyway, that's great. Hey, you won't miss that money. You won't miss money. Thank you so much, Amanda. I'm glad you're doing better. As per the previous episode, you're sounding even better this week than you did last week. So sounding good. All right. Thank you, girl. You can find Amanda on Instagram and Twitter at Agile Amanda. And you can find me on all of your favorite social media platforms at Rockland USA. Don't forget to check out the website and subscribe to the podcast. All the links are right there on the front page, rockonthemoney.com. Please subscribe and leave comments to our podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, or even your favorite app that you got right there on your phone. Those help us out a lot. If you're ever looking for a specific topic or content that we've produced over time, just go to the website and in the search bar, just type in your topic, be it 401k, stimulus check, or anything, and everything comes right up for you. We have so much gratitude that you've taken the time out of your day to listen to our podcast while you're walking, driving, traveling, or whatever you're doing. Please send us an email. Let us know how you're doing out there. Podcast at rocklandusa.com. So long, everybody. Thank you very much again. We'll see you again next time.
America's Rockland USA.
All opinions expressed by the host are solely their own and do not reflect the views of any company, affiliates, or advertisers. Investments or strategies mentioned in the show may not be suitable for you. Before acting on any information in the show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular circumstances and strongly consider seeking advice from your own financial or investment advisor.